Hi everyone, my name is Yannick and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll go through how to set up a simple Java Playwright project using JUnit as our test runner. For this project, you will need a Java IDE, so something like IntelliJ or Eclipse. For me today, I'll be using Eclipse, but using IntelliJ should not make a difference when it comes down to actually writing the tests and running them. You will also need to have Java already downloaded and installed on your computer. If you don't already have Java, to get it on your machine, you just need to go to Oracle's website, so that's oracle.com, and go to the Java download section of their website. And from there, you will see the latest JDKs. So you can just go ahead and download JDK 23. And a little bit further down here on their page, you will see that they have versions for Linux if you're using a Linux machine, Mac OS, or Windows. So go ahead and download whichever version suits the machine that you will be working with. Next, you will need an IDE. So if you don't already have one, you just need to go to eclipse.org. If you want to use Eclipse, or if you want to use IntelliJ, I'll leave a link in the description box below so you can know where exactly to go to download IntelliJ. But for Eclipse, you just come to their website here, eclipse.org/downloads, and you will go ahead and click the download link in the section that says install your favorite desktop IDE packages. And once you download that, you can go ahead and install it and you should be good to go. So now that we have Java and an IDE installed, we will go ahead and open our IDE to start creating our project. And once this launcher window opens, I'll just go ahead and select my workspace directory that I'll be working with. By default, it gives this eclipse-workplace directory, but for me, I created a whole new directory called java-playwright-tutorial, and this is the one that I'll be working with, and I'll just go ahead and click that launch button. Okay, so now that I have Eclipse launched, the first step that I'll do is to go ahead and create a Maven project, and I'll create a simple Maven project. So I'll click this link here, and right here at the top where it says create a simple project, I want to check that checkbox right there, and then I'll go ahead and click this next button, and I'll add a group ID. So for now, this can be anything that you want. And an artifact ID. And I'll just name this 01. So for my group ID, I'm using Playwright Java, and for my artifact ID, I'm using Playwright-Java-01. And everything else can leave as is, and I'll just go ahead and click this finish button. And over here, you'll see your project. Once this project is created, it will automatically create a pom.xml file, which is right here. And this file is where we will be putting all the configurations that we need for our project. So I'll go ahead and open that file. And this is our file. Now in this file, you'll notice that there's an error message here, cannot find the declaration of element project. To get rid of this error message, just change these URLs from HTTP to HTTPS, and that should fix the issue. And now the error message is gone. For this setup, we're making it simple and we'll only use two dependencies. We will need one for Playwright and one for JUnit. We will get the Playwright dependency from Playwright's documentation, and the JUnit one, we'll get that from Maven documentation that we'll look at in a bit. So let's go to Playwright's docs, and we want to be on the installation page that's just below getting started. And if you look at the introduction section here, you'll see where they say that Playwright is distributed as a set of Maven modules. And you'll also see a documentation link here where if you click that, you will be redirected to the Maven page where you can actually read more about what Maven is and all of that. So we'll leave that page open for now, as we'll come back to it in a bit. And let's just head back to Playwright's documentation. And we want to go to the usage section and click on the POM XML tab. Now in this code that they have here, we want to grab the dependencies section. This is where they have the Playwright dependency. So we'll only grab from here to here. We'll copy that. Then we'll head back to our project, and just below version, we'll paste what we just copied. And I'll just save that. All right, so now we have our Playwright dependency. Now we'll go ahead and get the JUnit dependency. So we'll head back to the Maven page that we opened earlier, and we'll scroll to the section that says the POM, and we'll look for their dependencies section, and in it you'll see the JUnit dependency here. So we'll just grab this. We'll just copy that. So this time we're only copying what's inside dependency. We'll copy that, and then we'll paste it inside our dependencies tag that we have in our file. So we'll paste that. I'll save this, and we'll see an error message popping up where it says that it's basically saying that JUnit is missing the version. So similarly to the Playwright dependency up top here, where we have a version specified, we need to make sure that we specify a version for our JUnit dependency as well. So I'll just add that there, and the value that I'll give it is actually the current version of JUnit, or at least the latest version, which is 5.12.0. And if you save that, you should see the error message going away. So now we're ready to actually create our test case. My reason for using the JUnit dependency is because in looking at Playwright's docs, you'll see where they actually recommend that we use a test runner. Right now, the JUnit test runner is the only one that I'm familiar with, so I'm opting to use that one. But if you look at their test runners documentation right here, you'll see that they have info on both the JUnit and the test ng. You can go with either of these two, or possibly even another test runner that they haven't specified. You could test that out on your own. So the benefits of using test runners, these test runners, they actually allow us to reuse methods in the before and after hooks, for example. And another benefit is that in using something like JUnit or testng, when you are running your tests, you don't need to specify a main method as with other Java files. For these tests, once you annotate them as tests, the runner will recognize that they are in fact tests and will just run them without requiring a main method. So now that we have that out of the way, I'll go ahead and start adding some code into this project. So first, I'll need to create a package. And to create that, in my project, in the Package Explorer section, I'll just right click. I'll hover on New, and then in that new menu, I want to actually click on Package right here to create a new package. And when this package dialog pops up, I want to select my source folder as the test folder. So source/test/java is what I'll be selecting, and I'm going to name this package as org.example. Next, inside this package, I'll go ahead and create a test case. So again, right click on the package, hover on New, and I will be creating a JUnit test case. And this dialog pops up, and I'm going to name this test example. And everything else I'll just leave as is, and I'll click finish. And when this test file is created, you'll see that Eclipse automatically imported the package name that it's in, and it also imports for us to JUnit, and it also went ahead and created our test class, test example. So we'll actually delete this because we'll be using the code that they have on Playwright's website, since as they have test cases there that should run as expected. So I'll head back to Playwright, and on this test runners page, I'm going to the JUnit section, and I'm actually going to copy everything that's here. And this code, once I copy it into my project, it should work as expected, because as you'll see, the package name is the same, or that example, and the class name, the test class name, is actually the same, which is test example. So I'll copy that. I'll head back to my file. I'll delete everything and I'll just paste it here. And I'll save that. All right, so now this is saved, and I should be able to run this and all tests should be passing. But before I do run it, I'll just talk a little bit about it. So we can see that we have a before hook, an after hook, a before each and after each, and we have 3 tests that have been specified, and each of these have been annotated with test, so we won't need a main method. The unit will just execute these tests as is. So to run them, I'll right click on my file, I'll go to run as, hover on that, and I'll select JUnit test. And if I go over here to JUnit and I'll click on that tab, I'll see once the tests have been executed. Okay, so all 3 tests have passed. And you'll notice that when these tests ran, the browser did not open, it did not launch for us to see. And that is because Playwright by default runs tests headlessly. So if we actually want to see the browser, we'll just need to change this launch method a bit. We'll just need to add a parameter to it. So what I'll do is I'll head back to the documentation here. I'll go to running and debugging tests. And we'll see at the bottom of this page, they have run tests in headed mode. They're saying basically if you prefer to run your test that way, you can just add this parameter here to your launch method that you have in your test. So I'll just head back to my test, and inside this launch method, I'll just paste what I just copied. And in pasting it, you'll notice that there is an error on this browser type here, and that's because we need to import this in our test. So similarly to the other import statements for Playwright, I'll just follow that pattern, .com.microsoft. .playwright, and we want to import browser type. So now this is imported and we no longer see the error message. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my Project Explorer and I'll just right click again and rerun these tests. And this time the browser should be launched and we should see the test being executed. Okay, so our browser launched. And there you have it. And our test passed again. So all 3 tests passed this time, and that's it. We have verified that our project is set up correctly. We can run our tests, and now we can add even more tests to this project and have a full-fledged test automation suite with Playwright and Java. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.